Today, boy oh boy, I'm going to be bringing you the most ridiculous build for PvP that is extremely powerful and borderlines on cheating because of how much of an advantage it gives you, especially in 3v3 game modes such as Trials of Osiris or Survival, where singular picks can define the round and then the match. If you don't believe me, then look at these stats right here. This is the breakdown of what the top Trials players, i.e. those with a 90% plus win rate with at least 25 matches for the week, have been using. The build I'm on about is obviously Khepri Sting Invis Hunter, and don't worry about linears being nerfed. This build works incredibly well with a variety of other weapons, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. Remember, if you find any of what I talk about useful, to like the video, as that helps me out a ton. Dim link for the build will be in the Discord, link for which is in the description or comments below. Let's get into it. So Khepri Sting are hunter exotic gloves that pair with Void Invis Hunters, and when you use your smoke bomb effect, i.e. when your smoke bomb actually goes off, which by the way is important to note, is not the same as throwing your smoke bomb, it lets you see enemies through walls for up to 3 seconds and from a whopping 64 meters away, which covers most engagements on maps in Destiny. Now, with old Void Hunters prior to the 3.0 update, there was a smoke bomb which instantly exploded and provided true sight, so you could actually throw your smoke bomb to activate this effect. But with Void 3.0, the smoke bomb is actually a snare bomb, which doesn't activate unless an enemy gets near it. So the ideal way to use Khepri's Sting is actually through your first aspect in the build, Trapper's Ambush. Now this activates Quickfall, an ability which lets you slam down, use your smoke bomb, and go invisible at the same time. This procs Khepri's Sting True Sight and gives you a glimpse at where enemies are. The second aspect we're going to be running is Vanishing Step. Now this lets you go invisible through another method, i.e. through your dodge. With a good stat build, which I'll get onto later in the video, you will practically be invisible all the time. Now for the rest of my Void 3.0 build, I've been running Marksman's Dodge as it has a lesser cooldown than Gambler's Dodge, which means I can dodge invis more often, and that just fits into my personal playstyle better. If you think you're going to play a bit more close range quarters, then Gambler's Dodge may be a better fit, as you can get your smoke back when dodging. Then I use Strafe Jump. My grenade I use is Spike Grenade, which has a great area of effect which kills enemies hiding around corners and can flush them out, especially behind barricades. It also has a relatively shorter cooldown than the other grenades, which is good because Discipline isn't a stat we're going to be prioritizing in this build. Then for my fragments, I run Echo of Dilation for more sprint speed and the 10 stat boosts to mobility and intellect. Echo of Leeching for that melee health regeneration which comes in clutch for 1v2 situations. And finally Echo of Persistence, which is a must for any invis build and increases the time both your quick fall, invis, dodge invis, grant you invisibility for. For your stat priority, number 1 here is 100 strength, which lets you get your smoke bomb faster. At 100 strength, that's 35 seconds, which is 2 smoke bombs for a long round of trials, and this gets even shorter with the mods I run. Number 2 is probably a tie between recovery and mobility. I chose recovery for myself. 80 mobility was giving me enough dodges in my gameplay. Then go for intellect, discipline, and resilience in that order. It is important to note, however, for resilience, if you're playing against a Gyrfalcon's Arbalest user, you may want to bump yourself up to 5 resilience so that you don't get body shotted by Arbalest. So take that on a match by match basis and sacrifice some mobility or recovery for resilience when you need to. For mods, there are 2 mods I want to talk about. The first is Melee Kickstart, which is found on your arms when the element is stasis. So make sure Khepri Sting here is stasis when leveling it up. I would definitely try and fit one of these into your build. It gives 7.5% of your energy back for one mod and 12.5%, i.e. with slight diminishing effect for 2 of these. I actually prefer sacrificing 10 recovery to run 2 of these melee kickstarts, but play around with your preference. You may want to only run 1 and keep your stat mod slots fully open. The second mod is Outreach, which is found on your class item when arc, whereby using your dodge gives you your melee energy back 12% for 1 mod and 16% for 2 stacks of this, so again with diminishing returns. Now this will depend on personal preference again, how good your stats are in your build, but another option here is to use a stasis cloak instead of arc and to use double utility kickstart, which when you use 2 of them gives a whopping 25% of your class ability back when using your dodge. In the end, I actually opted for utility kickstart as my armor only allowed me to run 8 mobility, so I needed that 25% class ability energy refund to have my dodge up more regularly for invis during matches. If you do have a sick build that lets you also get 100 mobility along with strength, then you may want to opt for Outreach instead. like I said, the choice is yours. Finally, the rest of my mods are fairly standard, powerful friends and radiant light to let me reach the stats I need, and the relevant targeting mods on my helmet. For the weapons of choice to pair this build with, well, the obvious choice to use was the linear fusion rifles Obelisk and Lorentz, but we'll have to see how good or bad they are after the upcoming nerf, thank God. If any of you watch me on Twitch, I am a sniper main through and through, and I actually prefer using this build with a sniper rifle rather than a linear. You won't realize this while playing, but this build completely eliminates the reaction time when you see a person in the snipe lane, as you actually start tracking from the wall hack position. So against other snipers, you will dominate them if they aren't using this, because a normal sniper without wall hacks will have a natural 100, 200, 300 millisecond delay as they react to your head suddenly popping up on the screen, and that's not factoring any sort of adjustment they have to make to their aim. Apart from long-range precision one-hit KO weapons, wall hacks obviously work well for other precision weapons like a slug shotgun, so something like Chaperone or the Inquisitor will pair extremely well with this build as well. So there you have it guys, my Khepri Sting build, which I've been using to do carries in trials. If you didn't already know, follow me on Twitch where I stream most weekends and do free carries for you guys. If you found this build breakdown useful, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny PvP and PvE builds. I'm Mr. Ronnet, and that's it for today. Peace out guys.